Horns up, metalheads, and welcome to Radioactive Metal, The Interviews. Ever wonder why there are two touring bands of the same band? Like Great White and Jack Russell's Great White. Well, lucky for you, Snowy sat down with Jack Russell himself to find out the story of Jack Russell's Great White, what's been going on behind the scenes, and I'm not going to say anything else. We're just going to get back into it. So sit back, kick back, grab a beer, and chill out listening to this interview with Jack Russell.
First and foremost, with every one of my interviews with an artist such as yourself who's been around, you've done it all, you've seen it all by now. And I would like to start off with the expression legendary. When you hear
no problem.
The legendary Jack Russell, the legendary Great White, like what goes through your head when you see that?
It's very flattering. I mean, but I don't know, kind of mixed emotions. You know what I mean? I don't look at myself like that. You know what I mean? I'm just a singer. You know, I just happen to be a guy blessed with a really good voice. You know what I mean? And I have no illusions about my voice. You know what I mean? I know how good it is, and I don't mean to sound unhumble, because that's the last thing. I don't feel like I'm privileged. I feel privileged, but I don't feel like I'm any better than anybody else. You know what I mean? I'm just maybe luckier than some people, but we all live, we all die, we all go through the roller coaster of life. So, it's, that just happens to be a gift that I was given. I'm very appreciative of. So when I hear that, it makes me feel good. But like I said, I don't look at myself like that.
No doubt. Just by the fact that you're taking time out and doing this, because this show, this isn't Rolling Stone magazine here, and yet you're giving your time, and that really shows to your character. We really appreciate tonight.
Well, no, I do. For you guys to want to interview me is really flattering. It's like, wow, that's really cool. It doesn't, for anybody that wants to spend time listening to my BS or whatever, I take that as a serious compliment, and it doesn't go unappreciative.
Right on. Those are wise words from a wise man. Don't ever lose those.
No, sir.
Okay. With this, the reason we are talking here, though, is you are promoting your new record. And this time, I believe, for the first time, it's coming under the name Jack Russell's Great White. Now, what's the rhyme and reason behind all this? Because this just kind of reeks of legal mumbo-jumbo, shall we say.
Well, you got the smell down, right? There came a point in time where, I had, and I take all the blame for this, at first it was like, I held everybody else, accountable, and I didn't take into consideration how I would be if I was on the other end. I would have fired me too, and I was never actually fired, they just didn't want to play with me, and because they couldn't trust me to stay sober. And basically nobody called me. It was like the proverbial ignore it and it'll go away, but I wasn't going away. So, I ended up filing suit, and, we ended up settling, as Jack Russell's Great White, mostly because I just didn't really care. I know who I am, and I know people that, want to come see me. And as long as I had that part of that name, people that didn't recognize Jack Russell, they go, oh, that's a singer, or, I wanted to change some part of the name that I built, had I gone to court, all the legal stuff was on my side, being president of the corporation, and the corporation only had was me and Mark. The other two guys were just 1099 employees at that time. So, it just, there was so much I could have risked at a jury trial. You never know what a jury's going to do. They could go, oh, those poor guys, he was such a terrible person. He canceled all these shows because he was drunk and he fell down and broke this and that, or he burst his colon, on purpose.
Oh, gee.
And, they could have sided with them. So I didn't want to take the chance, you know what I mean? And I had said from the very onset that I would go as Jack Russell's Great White. And they said, no way, you know what I mean? And we're not going to let you do that. And I said, okay, well, I guess we're going to go to court. And eventually we ended up settling on that. And I was like, God, all the money that was spent, I was stupid. We could have just sat down in a room together and just talked it out, but there was going to be none of that. I haven't spoken to any of those guys, for years. And it's tragic. It really is in a way. I mean, Mark and I started this band back in 1978 when I was 17 years old. Wow. I was in a band with Audie when I was 16 years old. So it's really tragic to have, people that you thought were your best friends in the world just totally turn their backs on you, in the worst crisis of my life, But, I mean, money sometimes becomes the most important thing, and like I said, I would have fired me too, you know what I mean? So I take all the responsibility, and, it was time to move on, and I moved on, and now I got a new band, which, I think is amazing, and it feels great to have a new album out and, retain some of my past, but, elevate it.
Right on. With that new record, it's entitled He Saw It Coming. Okay, now with this, who's he, and what exactly did he see coming?
He is me, and I saw my future, and this is no exaggeration. I'll tell you a story that you may or may not believe, but when I was 5 years old, I wanted to be an archaeologist. Oh. And, I mean, I lived, ate, dreamed. I wanted to be like Dr. Louis Leakey, digging up and down Africa and Olduvai Gorge and, finding, human remains from our early ancestors or whatever you want to call it. And that was my passion. And then for my 6th birthday, my parents bought me an album, and it was called The Beatles' Help. And I remember, vividly remember putting this on my little record player, the little box had the lid on it, and you put your record on, you move the arm over, and you put it on. And I listened to that record, and I had this, I can't even describe it, this feeling of just overcame me. It was nothing short of the clouds opening up and angels coming down with trumpets and going, you're going to be a rock star, And for a 6-year-old kid to have that dumped on him was, it was just like, wow, what do you do with this? You know what I mean? But I knew at that moment that was going to be my destiny. So I started just, getting into singing, which I always did anyway. I joined the choir at school, and later on when I was 11, my parents moved to Whittier, and I heard this guy playing guitar behind me on the street above us, and he was playing David Bowie stuff. So I went around the corner and I knocked on the garage, and I said, "Hey, dude, you play really good, man." I go, "I'm a singer." And he goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know this song?" I go, "Oh, absolutely." So he plugged the mic he had into his guitar amp, and we started jamming, and I was singing through the amp. Although it didn't sound that great, it was still, you could hear my voice. And he's like, "Wow, man, you sing really good." I go, "Thanks." So we started this little band from people that he went to high school with. I was like quite a bit younger, They were like freshmen and sophomores, but, they go, I had a really good voice. So we started a band. And I don't mean to sound like I'm not being humble. I'm just stating what I believe to be true. And like I said, it was a gift. So anyway, we started this band. We're playing copy songs, of course. And, I remember I played this tape we made on this reel-to-reel recorder and played it for my dad. He goes, "Oh, my God, you sing great." He goes, "What can I do to help?" I go, "Well, I need a PA system." Instantly took me down and bought me one. My dad was just so supportive. And, if it wasn't for him, I don't know, it would have been a lot harder to achieve my goals, But so that band became another band, which became a band out that I left. It was a prog rock band, and I left that because we were playing Hollywood and stuff, and I was like, 15 years old, and it was really weird. They had, I didn't really like the music, but I had a chance to play, originals in big clubs, or reputable clubs, So from there, I joined a band, a cover band. They were playing rock, and it was Audie was playing drums. So they kicked me out for being all drugged out, and then they brought me back in. They just go, just don't get high at the shows. I go, all right. So one day I said, hey, man, we need to go start writing original stuff. We're not going to get anywhere doing these copy songs. And they go, we're not ready yet. And these guys are older than me. And I'm like, you're not ready. I go, well, I'll tell you what, I can't do this anymore. I can't be playing one more backyard, with a keg and playing somebody else's tunes. I go, I can't do it. So I quit. And in between that time, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, this guy named Mark Kendall kept calling me. He got my number from a mutual friend who had told him about this singer that sang like Robert Plant, and so he was guy wouldn't leave me alone. The way he told it was like, oh yeah, the guy had the flu for like 6 months. So I kept telling him, I'm sick. I'm still sick. I'm sick. And finally one day I went, this guy's not going to go away, so I might as well just go down there and listen to him and tell him F off. And so I went down there, and the same thing. They're playing same songs we were playing, except that really fat drummer that played side stick, which I just hated. And the bass player had a mustache, which I was like, oh God, no, not that. Back then, if you had a facial hair, you were in Three Dog Night. You know what I mean? So I finally told him, I go, dude, you know what? You guys are great, but this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to do original stuff. And Mark goes, hey man, come in this room with me. So I went to this room, and he goes, let me play some stuff. He starts playing me some songs. I'm like, God, those are great. Who's that? He goes, those are my stuff. Are you kidding me? I go, tell you what, you quit your band. I'll quit the band that I'm jamming with, which I was jamming with some other band for a bit. And and we'll start our own band. He goes, okay. So I remember going up to the guy's houses where I was rehearsing, this guy's house, and picking up my PA and, telling the guys, well, I really, sorry, but I got to go do something else. You guys are great, but, blah, 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 blah. And I remember I was driving over the hill in this green station wagon with my PA tied on top, and I was just laughing, going, all right, man, we're going to do something great. I know it. And that's how it started, and later on it became Great White. And then, we had our career, and now I'm off doing something else, and it's cool. I wish them the best success, and but I wish myself more.
Yeah. It's always, I don't know if weird is the proper word, but like whenever, like I remember when Great White, I'm old enough as it is now. I remember when Great White, you got a couple years on me, but I remember when Great White first burst on the scene with your first record, and for the unsuspecting fan, it's like, well, this band just came out of nowhere, but more often than not, before the band sees that first initial success through a major label or something, they were slogging it out in, on the Strip or up and down the California coast or the East Coast or whatever for many years. And, like when you say Great White goes back to 78, that might not be something that a lot of people know.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't Great White then. We started out as a band called Wires. Talk about couldn't think of a great name. It's like, and that evolved into Dante Fox, and Dante Fox became Great White, and we put out our own EP, because we couldn't get a record deal, so we said, hell with it, we're going to put out our own record, and we sold like 20, and we got airplay on the major stations out here, KMET. The first time a band on an independent label ever got played in regular rotation on a major radio station.
Wow.
First time in history. So, they got played. Some stations would play a song by a band or a local band or whatever, but not in regular rotation. And so we ended up selling like 20,000 copies, locally. So we went and did a Troubadour show on New Year's Eve, and every label in town was there, and they all made the offers to us, and we ended up signing a deal with EMI America, who I never heard of. But later on, I realized who they were. But the guy that signed us, Gary Gersh, the reason he signed us was because he wanted the president's job. So he signed us, the most wanted band in town, so he could destroy us, so he could blame it on the president. And that's just what happened. We were playing everywhere with Judas. We had the Judas Priest tour, the biggest tour in the U.S. that year. Defenders of Faith. Every show was sold out. And there was records weren't in the stores. I'd walk across the street from the arena. I'd go, "Where's the Great White Album at?" He goes, "Great who?" I go, "We're playing the arena tonight with Judas Priest." "Oh, I never heard of you guys." So they totally sabotaged us, and we ended up leaving the label, and they were like, "Farewell." And so we put out our own record again, and that got re-released by Capitol, their sister label. And then we put out Once Bitten, and you know how it goes after that.
And here we are all the way up 2017, and you're just about ready to kick out another kick-ass record, which is
comes out tomorrow. It comes out tomorrow, yeah.
Right on. And I believe this is going to be your debut with the fine folks at Frontiers Records.
Yeah, it's the debut of that, and it's the debut of Jack Russell's Great White. So
right on.
It's really a special time for me right now. I'm really feeling like, life is just great, and I'm just really happy, and I have no complaints at this point.
Right on. That's good. And it's time that, you enjoyed all the hard work that you put into this. Who approached who for this deal with Frontiers? Did they come up to you, or were you aware of maybe through mutual friends signed with them, or like?
Yeah, we knew about the label, and my manager knew them, so he got a hold, and they said, yeah, absolutely. So we did a deal, and we made the record, and Robbie and I, my guitarist, produced it. We had a guy named Evan Rodnovich engineer it. I mean, he mixed it. Robbie actually engineered the record, recorded it. But we wanted somebody else to mix it, There's too many times you make a mistake letting somebody in the band mix the record, and it's just, it comes out not good. I've had that experience many, many times, so I didn't want to do that again.
Right. No doubt. This is actually, when I think of an artist such as yourself, I immediately think of Frontiers, because here's a record, here's a label that they're not afraid, and they seem very enthusiastic about signing some, I don't want to say older, but some of these veteran bands.
Veteran bands, yeah, absolutely.
There we are. That the consumer in 2017 might not be thinking, I need a new Great White album, I need a new Foreigner record and all that. But these guys have the balls to say, no, you want this record because it kicks ass, and here it is, and you're crazy if you don't buy it. So you seem to be a fit with them. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it to me, my feelings about the record, and having nothing to do with me being really close to it, just from a pure listener standpoint, if this album was done by somebody else, I would definitely buy it. And, that's just being John Q. listener, I love the tunes. I love the record. I think it's a really, really good album. It's definitely the best thing I've ever worked on.
Right on. When it comes time to promote this, like on the live front, how much of this record are we going to see or hear?
We're doing 3 songs right now, and that's probably going to be the limit. We'll probably switch some out as we go, but there's nothing worse than going to see a band and having them play their whole new album in like a couple songs that It's like, wow, man, I don't mind hearing the new stuff because I like it. I have the record, but I don't want to hear the whole thing. I want to hear the hits, So It's like Aerosmith going out and not playing Dream On, You're like, what? You got to play what the people want, but you got to also introduce them to your new stuff. So, it's a tough game, because you don't want to have like a 4-hour set, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to sit and listen to 4 hours of anybody,
Well, maybe a 4-hour festival with multiple bands, so we can get down with that for sure. But isn't it kind of frustrating as an artist that, you put in all this time and effort, you created this kick-ass record, and then you go on stage and you say, here's a track off the new record, and you hear a pin drop. Okay, but
yeah,
then,
I've never had that issue so far, thankfully, and hopefully I won't have that issue now. Either that or you just go into it and you wait till afterwards. I mean, that was from our new album, So, I've fortunately never had that problem. Of course, it's not like you say, here's something from the new record, and, it's not like the whole crowd goes crazy, like saying, okay, here comes Save Your Love or whatever, because it's not as known as that. And, in this day and age, I mean, not like people are signing millions of records anymore. Most people are, they just steal the music, and it's really unfortunate. Of course, that's becoming less and less, as technology improves. But, it's just sad when you see, somebody come up and say, yeah, I downloaded your record the other night, man. And I'm like, oh, I love it. It's great. I go, oh, good. Maybe you sneak in the back door of the arena and then, don't pay for the ticket either. It's just like, come on, man. How come my favorite band broke up? Well, you didn't quit buying their music and they couldn't eat,
That's right. That's right.
It's like I just want people to buy the record, I mean, the artwork and all the stuff inside, it's there's a lot to it.
Oh, definitely. And that's one of the things that we've said on the show many times. Like, the tunes are great, but it's a complete package, especially on a vinyl record. You want the physical product, and I hate that word. You want it in your hand. You want the physical thing, and you want to look at the liner notes and and the lyrics, and it's an experience. And I don't think the younger generation is getting that.
No, they don't get it. I mean, back when we used to buy records, I mean, it was like we'd sit in line overnight. We knew a new release was coming out. And you run down the aisle to the display, you pick up your copy, you take it home, you'd gingerly cut the shrink wrap open, and then you put one of those covers on that, and you take the album out, and, you look at the liner notes, and you read it all. I used to have this little stand on the wall, a little shelf, and I used to put the cover on while I was listening to the album, and above it said, now playing, And it was a whole experience, it was like a ritual, And now it's just like, tear the stuff off, throw it in the CD player, and then don't even put it back in the case, just toss on the seat or something,
Or even worse, not even a CD, just rip it off the internet, and that's
yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so
that's even worse.
I'm hoping people, will actually buy the record, and we'll see. We'll see. I have high hopes, man. I tend to shoot for the stars. And if you fall short, oh well, I never stop trying.
Right on. And with that, never stop trying. Okay. Neither of us are young guys anymore. We're not old, but we're not young. Okay. How much longer do you think you can do this? Or are you just going to pull a Lemmy and just do this until you drop?
Well, I don't necessarily want to pull a Lemmy, but I mean, I plan on doing this for as long as I'm able. I mean, I have no designs of stop doing what I do. I mean, it's gonna depend on my health. I mean, that's what it's gonna depend upon. I have a lot of health issues. Like degenerative disease, and so with that, it's my back's really messed up. I mean, so. We'll just go as long as we can go, and then after we can't go anymore, we'll go some more,
Right on. That's the perfect way to end this. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome, my friend. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for listening to Snowy's chat with Jack Russell of Great White. If you see Snowy hanging around the Winnipeg area, why don't you ask him if he wants to join you for a back alley Lemmy? And if you don't know what a back alley Lemmy is, well then check out episode 447 that features this interview with Jack Russell, as well as what a back alley Lemmy really is. So until next time, in the meantime, and I can't do it like Snowy does, but in the meantime and in the in-between time, horns up, rock out, see ya.
Visit us at radioactivemetal.org or go to iTunes for past episodes and write a review. Listen to us live every Thursday night on purerockradio.net. You can also listen to us on Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com, Google Play, and all the other podcast aggregators. You can purchase the music featured in this episode by going to radioactivemetal.org and clicking on the episode link. Leave us a voicemail. We want to hear from you. Call 321-80-HEAVY or 321-804-3289. We may even play it on the show. Email us at radmetal666@gmail.com with suggestions or for indie spotlight submissions. Follow us at facebook.com/radmetal, twitter.com/radmetal666, and instagram.com/radioactivemetal. This has been a presentation of Radioactive Metal. It's not metal unless it's radioactive metal.